So Christianity has this reputation of being an easy religion. You know, it's a light work religion. Just put your faith in Jesus and that's it, you're saved. And I think that often rubs people the wrong way as well, because they compare it to Islam. They say, "Oh, look at the discipline of the Muslims. Like, they pray 5 times a day, and then look at these Christians. They're out clubbing. They're not doing what they're supposed to be doing." And I would argue that, yeah, okay, sure, there's a lot of lukewarm Christians, but you know, someone being a lukewarm Christian doesn't mean that the Christian faith is a weak religion, nor is it a lie. Because I could argue that in university I saw many lukewarm Muslims go into the club drinking and, you know, doing things that a Muslim shouldn't be doing. So if we're going to use that argument, just face the fact that in every religion there's going to be lukewarm people who give themselves the title of the faith and then their actions are just completely different. But something I've been really noticing recently is I've been trying my best to seek the grace of the Lord, seek his divine energies, and really be around his presence and surrounded by his presence consciously, through prayer, fasting, and just going to divine liturgy. You really get a grasp to how hard it is to be an actual Christian. Like someone who denies themselves, picks up their cross daily and follows him. You know, you do it for a week and you're doing really well, and then a sly temptation comes in, you deny it, you've been denying it all week, and then it comes in like a certain package that you actually go, "Oh, I could just justify doing that. I could justify doing that sin." And really what it comes down to is that we want to sin. And I think that's the hardest realization you have to have as a Christian, is when you go crying to God and you go, "Oh God, I've sinned again. Like, why am I stuck in this sin? Lord, help me, please, please." Like, the realization you've really got to come to is that temptation wasn't the cause of your sin. It was your desire to sin that caused you to sin. Like, you wanted to sin. And it's that responsibility for your sin that's very hard, you know, because we can mask it. We can mask our sin and be like, "Oh man, I just fell into temptation, man. It's like, it sucks." But that's just denying the truth of the situation. The truth of the situation is that when we sin, 98% of the time, it's because we wanted to. And God always gives us a way out. You know, prayer, for me, I've realized, is the escape to sin. You know, when you get temptations, just go into a deep prayer. Like, just go pray. You just need to pray. Because in prayer, I don't find temptations. I find God. I find love for God. I find his grace, and I find focus. I find focus on him. But outside of prayer, your mind goes in endless places. It goes left, it goes right. It tempts you here, it tempts you there. And what I've actually found is the closer you get to God, the more temptations you get. You know, the other day I had divine liturgy. So the video I just posted like 5 days ago, it was the most blessed divine liturgy ever. And then, like, as soon as I left the church, as soon as I left the house of God, bro, temptations just started coming in, bro. Lustful thoughts. Bro, I wanted to go drink. I don't even drink. And I had temptations to go open up some whiskey and start having a whiskey and coke. And it's like, and it just made me realize that, you know, as you get closer to God, the pull of temptations is going to come strong, because Satan attacks those who are not idle. He attacks the ones who are really trying to get to Christ and get to the Spirit, because he doesn't want you there, because in the Spirit is life and he wants you to have death. And I just find it so strange that whenever I get closer to Christ, or whenever I'm just progressing in life, I get pulled back with so many temptations. And like, I'll admit, I can be weak in flesh at times. I fall into sin. And it's annoying because, you know, you realize that it's not even yourself that you're letting down, it's Christ, it's God. My girl said to me the other week when I was getting tempted by the temptation, and I was really struggling, I was like, "Oh, I really want to do it, but you shouldn't, like, I shouldn't do it. I know I shouldn't." She was like, "You know, if you do this sin, just think about the demons. They don't just laugh at you, they're laughing at God as well. Because you're out here being all open, saying you're a servant for Christ, yeah, I love Christ, Christ is my God, but then you're going and sinning. So the demons are laughing at you because they laugh at you because they go, 'Oh, look at this servant of God, he's actually a slave to his sin still.'" So that was quite an eye-opening perspective. It's a harsh perspective, but it could be a truthful one. Obviously, I can't see into the Spirit and tell you what the demons do when you sin, but they're probably laughing at you. They're probably doing what demons do. You know what I'm saying? Doing what demons do. But yeah, man, being a Christian ain't easy. You know, it's a tough battle. You know, the journey to righteousness, the journey to theosis, becoming Christ-like, sanctifying the heart, the change that we all yearn for, is hard to attain. You know, it's very hard, and you'll get glimpses of it. You'll get glimpses of that grace, and you'll experience it for maybe a month. And then it's about being strong. It's about really loving Christ more than your sin. Because the love of sin is ingrained in us. It's something that has been in us since the beginning, since we were born. Really, you know, you're born into this world which is just full of sin. You know, you don't even know you're sinning half the time when you're young, until you become older and you reflect and you go, rah, like I was a real sinful kid. But you know, it's a good struggle at the end of the day, and it's all worth it, for the glory of God, to walk this path of denying ourselves, picking up our cross and following Jesus, because it is the most fruitful spiritual journey anyone could partake in. There's no religion, there's no faith that is more fruitful than Christianity. They can talk about all their works and stuff like that, but the spirit that you attain when you become a Christ follower, the transformation you go through in your heart, and just the grace of God that we are open to receiving through faith is truly a gift from God. There's nothing that could ever triumph Christ, ever. He is the King of Kings, Lord of Lords. Glory be to God. But yeah, being a Christian ain't easy, boys. You know, we got to stay strong. Discord is below. Let's get chatting, boys.